I'm sure you've all heard the countless cliches about practicing and improvement, but there's really some truth to that in terms of you have to focus in on the right stuff at the right time in order for you to get to the next step that you need to be at. And that's going to be different for every person. So today on Afternoon Jams, I'm just going to talk about the importance of practicing and go over a few techniques that I implore. So practicing is something that I enjoy doing, and there's a couple of reasons for that. So let's get into a little of my background first. When I was 16, I broke my wrist on this side of it and had severe nerve damage that ran up the side of my arm. And so, when I was at the doctor, they had me turned around blindfolded and like that, and they put like 24 little pins inside my arm, and I couldn't feel one of them. So, it took some physical therapy and stuff to get back to normal. And the doctor told me that I was in a situation where if I didn't pick up a hobby that used the dexterity of my hand, eventually I'd lose the ability to use it because of the damage. And so I asked about the guitar because I was moving my fingers and stuff, and he told me that was perfect. And of course I was smart enough to ask in front of my mom. I was 16, so I wanted her to hear what the doctor had to say. Although she was always supportive of it, I should say that. But I was told basically I had to play like a good number of days each week, which I did. That was back in 1998. So to a degree, that helps release any kind of pressure I have in my hand. And unfortunately, years later, I got diagnosed with fibromyalgia, which is a nerve disorder. And they strongly suspect that when I broke my wrist, it was a trigger point. So I practice every day, and that kind of takes my mind off of some of the pain too. So as long as I'm able to focus on something, that kind of helps. And so a few things that I like to do is watch several videos on YouTube about the topic, and then take notes. And as I'm going, I'm thinking of songs that these techniques might apply to. And then if I can't think of any, I try to write my own. I do that typically anyway, just because it's a good idea to take a technique and incorporate it into your style so that you're not sounding so mechanical and predictable. Because that's one thing with improv that you want to try to avoid. And so there'll be plenty of videos on that, just like there'll be plenty of videos on practicing. Today in this video, I took a loop that I had already made. It was in the key of A, and it's important when you're making loops to jump around from different keys so that you get practice in every single one. Because although they might be patterns and go up and down the neck, it's still different in a way, and so you should practice every single key. And especially focus on the ones you have the harder time with, because that's where you need to work. So I took this loop, and it was basically a key of A song that went A, E, D, A. And what I did was took the bass and made that A part a C sharp minor, which was an inversion. All these are triads that are inversions, and I took the C sharp, which is the third of the A, and so that adds kind of like a extensions onto the A when you're improvising over. So I just took that loop, and I was practicing Coltrane patterns and also pentatonic scales, going back and forth with a few scale runs, like just major scale. And so when you're watching, I want you to see if you can figure out which is which. The Coltrane patterns are something that I've really been kind of imploring into my own style lately, and that's a simple 1, 2, 3, 5. 4 notes, but there's different patterns along the way and different ways you can execute them. So I was trying to incorporate that into my playing. And it's a good idea when you're practicing to revisit certain topics. Just because you learned about something, you moved on, and it might seem simple to you, go back and kind of reevaluate it, play it a little more, maybe read up about it some, because it's easy to skip over certain aspects of, because there's a lot of information with each kind of technique, and just it's not a bad idea. You can never have too much information. So, like I said, see if you can figure out which is the Coltrane patterns versus scale runs versus when I was using the pentatonic scale, and leave a comment below about what you think and or if you have any questions. And until next time, have a wonderful time.